If you want a miniature SUV that's also got some character and fun to it, this 2014 Fiat 500L could be the one for you. All right, my cameraman had to hold the hood up because the hydraulics are worn out. But under the hood of this Fiat 500, we have a 2.4-liter inline four-cylinder engine that makes 160 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. Inside the Fiat 500L, you have a very normal gauge cluster screen. We have a radio with Bluetooth phone capability and USB as well. We have not full auto air conditioning, but we have regular fan speed. The AC button is all worn out because we use it a lot here in Arizona. Circulation, that's where you plug in your SD card, auxiliary, and USB media capabilities. All auto window switches, which is very rare to see in a car. This particular model has the 6-speed manual transmission that my partner loves to shake. And it also comes with an optional 6-speed automatic. One of the main parts that gives this car so much character, besides the fact that you're driving a cube-shaped Granny Smith apple, is the screen goes all the way back. The passengers can even see it. And if it's still not enough, the front goes up as well as down, and it even opens up all the way. I had to figure out how to do it for a second. But you just hold these two buttons, it opens up all the way for an open top view of the world. Now, we'll just pull both buttons. They close at the same time or individually, whichever you choose, and then you can be sheltered from the rest of the world. As you come around to the back of the cube Granny Smith apple, it's a manually operated tailgate, but you can see there's a shelf that would usually be attached to here, but I think the owner was a little bit lazy and didn't want to actually attach it, but it would fold up with the tailgate. This folds up. You can tell they clearly have kids. We'll just go ahead and lower that here for a nice Fiat 500L logo. As you go down to the back, it's pretty standard back here. It's kind of like stadium seating. You sit a little bit higher back here than you do up front. As you get back in the front, your center console is also your armrest. This part lifts up. I'm not going to show you what's inside because it is sensitive information, but you can store it out of the way. This is the handbrake. It's an interesting style because you got it with the front of your hand and pull it up. Like I said, it is a manual transmission with 3 pedals.
All right, now we begin the driving portion of the 2014 Fiat 500L. My microphone was really bad in this video, so I have a new external one that I'm going to use. So how does it drive? It drives fine for what it is. It doesn't handle all that well. It's very tall, and you really notice that as you drive. As I take this corner here, that was a big thing. The wheels are really small, the wheels and tires, so it feels like it leans a little bit in the corners. Not necessarily a bad thing, but it is something that I noticed. Cruising along here, it is nice to have 6 gears because you have a nice long overdrive gear at the end, which is 6th gear. So unlike some other manual transmission cars, you're not revving it out just trying to cruise at 40-50 miles an hour and you're revving at 3,000 RPM, which I had a Veloster that was like that, and that was one of the things that I did not like about it. So there's a lot of road noise on this vehicle. You drive along, I think this has something to do with the tires as well, and mainly the insulation. As we get onto the freeway, I will point out I really like being able to shift this vehicle. I know that not everyone likes manual transmissions anymore. It's seen as a chore, but I feel like it gives so much control. It's not really all that fast. I'm flooring it onto the freeway here, and there's a lot of turbo lag. So the turbos kick in right around 3,500 RPM or so, and that's when you really feel the power. But the thing is, it's not really that much power, and that's what I found interesting. It's not really a slow vehicle, but it is kind of painful when you're at low RPM, in my opinion. But once you get up high in the rev range, it's fine. So you have passing power. You're not fighting for your life when you're on the freeway trying to get up and pass someone. But this is where you notice the nice cruising gear on the freeway. So I noticed that there's a lot of throw in the shifter. This is where you can really see that. I feel like you're pushing it a mile between gears. Not necessarily a bad thing, but once again, it is something that I noticed. It does take some of the sportiness out of it, but it's not really a terrible thing. Some people like a long throw. So, cruising back onto the on-ramp, it's just kind of like the check engine light was on in this car. I don't know exactly what was wrong with it. Fiat Chrysler is not the most reliable vehicle out there. However, the owner tells me he hasn't had too many issues. It's probably just for an oil change, but it's not as reliable as something like a Honda or something in that realm. Toyota, even Nissan. But they're not as stylish as this car either. There's a lot of headroom as well. I think that's like 8 inches of headroom in there. You really notice that. It feels like you're sitting in like a bedroom or something and looking around and seeing, oh wow, there's a lot of space. That's kind of what it felt like to me.
Okay, well now I got to do it again because you talked the whole time.